Hi guys, I'm going to talk about some tactics today, some cheese tactics. I'm not really suggesting you use these, but it's kind of cool to know about them, and if you're playing a really friendly game, you can do it. But I wouldn't suggest doing this if you're trying to make friends. So this is going to be utilizing the Lambda shuttles, and you have to have 2 of them to make this work. And the way I'm doing it is I'm also using an interceptor. So I'm going to take you to the game board and we'll get it underway. Alright, so what you need for this is you need 2 shuttles. I've got my regular shuttle here, and then I got my black and sparkly purple shuttle. And I'm running Soontir Fel with the new upgrade, the new title. So I just put the red one on Soontir Fel. Why not? Actually, it's a 0-point title, so you can put on any interceptor, even if you're not going to use the extra modifications, just because it's 0 points. 0-point titles on a ship are cool, even if you don't use them. It doesn't cost nothing. It gives you more cards. So you're going to take these 2 ships, and you can make them move forever, or basically make them stall forever. And the idea, you want Omicron group pilot, and you want Captain Yorr. And the idea is Captain Yorr's ability is that he can take a stress from somebody else. Whenever an allied ship within range gets a stress token, it can go to him if he doesn't have 2. So you can do that if he has a stress. So the idea here is you can set up Yorr to go this way, and to where he would bump, and then you just have you do your 0 maneuver on your first shuttle, and then you have Yorr take the stress, and you have Yorr do a green 1 and immediately clear the stress. And then they can just set like that the entire map. Now, that sounds a little boring, but that's where Fel comes in. Fel can just fly around and be the bait, and get the enemies to chase him, and basically beat them with maneuvers. And I would give Fel a stealth device here. Let him push the limit, obviously. Maybe double focus. Just make sure that Fel doesn't die, which, that's doable. And just lure them back in here. But there's a more advanced way to do this. One of the more advanced ways is, look at your firing arcs. So if you do it this way, you've got there to there. But this second ship can only shoot that way. So if I were your enemy, fly my trusty little B-wing, and right here, do 1 maneuver. It's just shooting the whole time. Never get to shoot. Even if Fel's shooting at me, I'll just let those shields absorb it, and just take out Yorr, or whoever probably Yorr. And then if I bump Yorr, then stay there, bump Yorr, and just range 1 shot the Omicron group pilot the whole time. So there's that. And we don't want to let a B-wing come in and do that if we're trying to have some shuttle fun. So the other way to do this is line up in the corner. So I could line up in the corner and do the same thing. And now you can't sneak in without getting shot, but there's a better way to do this. And what we want to do is maximize our arcs. So we can do it on an angle. Now if you see the way I have this here, alright, now there's a reason that this won't work. So now this is a great angle. I can get both ships, as they come in. If somebody gets into the kill zone, which would be, anywhere in here, then I can get them. However, if I do a 1 forward to try and clear my stress on Yorr, it's going to be legal, and I won't bump. So we have to adjust our turning a little bit. Now the trick with this is, when you're placing your ships, you're going to place your 2 before your 4. So you've got to make sure you pre-plan this and know exactly what you're going to do. The idea here is to angle them both. You can do them exactly the same way, or you can change it up a little bit. If you do it exactly the same way, you'll still be able to go forward with Yorr. So you can angle it a little bit more. And now the way I have it here, Yorr will bump. Right there, that's a clear bump. So now I have this whole arc out here, and I've got most of this arc, which does leave this very close area to come in, but we've really got, like looking from the corner of the board, we've got a lot of it covered. We've got like this whole quadrant in here covered. And if you want to adjust your firing arc, maybe you want to go that way a little bit more, you can do that, and then the only thing you have to do is, if I don't break everything, the only thing you do is you change Yorr from a green straight to a curve. And then the only problem is that he's going to bump. He's still going to bump, but you just got to make sure that he's not going to bump, and be able to, that he can't move. Like if you do it like out here, then he's going to move and he's going to bump, and that's going to change your whole setup. So the idea is you want him not to be able to move at all. And this is pretty much ideal right there, because the very first, he can't move at all. So he's a zero move bump if you do a curve. If you go straight, he can move, but if you do a curve, he can't bump. Or he can't move, he'll still bump. So that is that's the cheese trick. Now I'm going to walk you through a scenario with it. Alright, so the way I have this set up right now, I've got my two lambdas right here on the side. Now the firing arc here for this first one, for Yorr, is so narrow, our defenders the only way they could come in is very, very, very close to the edge of the map. And it's near impossible. They run a serious risk of flying off the map. So most people aren't going to really be able to line up that close. So basically I'll set it up to where if they did decide, I have a Soontir fell here. He's designed to basically fly around and distract him. He can outmaneuver any of them. Then I've got, an A-wing, a B-wing, and an X-wing all coming in. And assuming they figured out what you were doing and they were going to try and fly in, even if they got this close to the edge and they're only like maybe an inch out to less than a ship's length, setting a range indicator all the way out, they're still going to be within range, a firing arc of this guy as soon as they come in. But I'll start here from now. That I doubt they'll be, they may want to come in all three, but somebody might try and be slick. Somebody who hasn't seen this before is probably going to try and line them up so that they'll all come in outside of the firing arc. But if they do that, chances are they're not going to be on the edge. It'd be pure lunacy to set up on the edge. So most people aren't going to do that, because just getting into position, it takes a whole lot of luck. So typically somebody's going to be coming in, and they're going to get in within range. So as soon as they're within range, you start shooting at them. Against a B-wing, if you put fire control systems on here, end gunner. Well, I don't like that roll. Maybe we don't hit. But now we got a target lock, so let's roll again. Spend my target lock. Get 2 hits, get 3 hits most times against the B-wing. You're gonna, take half his shields down before he even gets to you. And so, by then, by the second turn, you probably have all 3 ships in range if they're just bumping. If this were me, I would put the B-wing up front, doing just straight ones, and let everybody else bump behind him. By this time, they were probably trying to take him down. So if you have Vader on this back guy, it's gonna be great. One of the things you can do is instead of just doing a 0 with this Omicron group pilot here, is you can do a hard 2, which now you have all 3 enemies right here. Not to mention you have Fell flying around. By this point, he should be, he should have turned and boosted and barrel rolled to be shooting at the rear of these guys unobstructed. But then you can also do a red 2 here, take your disco shuttle, and now voila, you've got range 1 attacks on take your pick on anybody. And again, because it's a red maneuver, but Yorr can still take the stress, so you can still do whatever you want, and you can stay there. You can even stay there, and they're this far out now. They've got nowhere to go. You know, because if you place your asteroids right here, they have nowhere to escape. So, you know, it's pure cheese because you can park them here the whole time, but it's a lot of fun. So, well, I don't know if it's a lot of fun for your opponent.